do you want to give a little bit about what we're doing here?
Sure. So this is this creative process that we're sharing for the 3-day challenge. It it comes from our intentional creativity training with Musea, the Center for Intentional Creativity. And this is a technique called a 21 line face, but there's another technique that we're blending with it that's called a scribble face. So we're going to be holding our crayon or colored pencil or
Or
marker
pen or whatever
or
you have.
pen or pencil loosely, and maybe even inviting the non-dominant hand to be involved, so that what we're creating is loose and sloppy. And that's part of this. The magic of this process is to get us out of our head, out of that designing and analytical type of mindset, so that we can begin to open up the fullness of the brain to allow us to have a little more neuroplasticity and encounter this whole experience in a novel way. What that's going to do for us is help downregulate our central nervous system and give us an opportunity to kind of really tune into that inner voice that exists always outside of our thinking mind. And this way, we get to tap into our own wisdom, hopefully, in a small way. We're just kind of tiptoeing around
Mhm.
and seeing what might be there for us.
Yeah,
You like that?
I love it. So before we begin, does anyone have any questions or like things, practical things like what do I need? What supplies do I need? How do I need to prepare? Anything that you need to know before you feel like you can really just drop into this space? You're welcome to raise your hand or unmute and share that. Otherwise, we will begin.
So what I'm using today is one of our big chunky wooden colored pencils. They're a lot of fun. And I may be using just regular old crayons. So we're going to be connecting to this process of our little face drawing by tuning into the part of the face that we're drawing. So in each moment we're going to start with drawing the eyebrow ridge and coming down the bridge of the nose, and then we'll go to the other eyebrow ridge, and then I'll just keep guiding you along, which part. And each of these parts is really just a curved line. So we're just going to make a bunch of curved lines in a specific way, and we'll end up with a face. And we're not going to create a masterpiece to hang in the Museum of Art, but we're going to create a portal by tuning ourselves to what we're creating with an intention to be able to open up a line of communication with our inner voice. You ready?
Yeah, but let's make sure. Can everyone see at least one of our screens? Like, here's what I'm doing. Everyone see that? Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So you go ahead and guide us, and
Okay.
I'll be mark making.
Well, I'm going to do this left-handed. It's going to be really weird
Okay.
for me.
He'll share it with you too, so you can see how weird it can be.
Yeah. So we're going to begin just by tuning into our left eyebrow, and right about the middle of the piece of paper that you have, just make a nice little curved line to represent that left eyebrow ridge. And then toward the middle of your paper, just keep going with that line. Give it a nice bit of a curve. to represent that downward line of the bridge of the nose. And while you're doing that, just tune into that part of your face, as if each part of your face has a little bit of information for you. It's stored in there, it's encoded. And the subconscious works in symbols and maybe riddles.
Mhm.
So we're just accessing this sort of information that is outside of our regular everyday language. And we're going to come over to the right eyebrow. So just be tuning into your right eyebrow on your face as you create this little curved line to represent the right eyebrow. And then come back to that bridge of the nose line and just make a little curved line that's kind of upside down from the eyebrows to represent the tip of the nose. And then another curved line on each side of that tip of the nose to give the nostrils a place to come in. And then we'll tune into the lips. So we'll start with the top of the lip, that little curved line in the center. And then we'll go to the left side and the right side of that upper lip. And then we'll do one curved line for the bottom lip. And we'll come back up to be near the eyebrows. We'll go with that, just the lower eyelid on the left eye. So just a curved line. And then the right eye. Just tuning into that part of your face as you create that line on the paper. And then we'll make a big curved line. So we're going to go from around the edge of that left eye, and we'll make a chin line that'll come all the way around to the right eye. And then we'll add the earlobes. And we'll just start around the line, around the area where the nose is, maybe a little lower, and just flesh out the lower part of the earlobe and bring it upward. And now we're going to venture into a little bit of a metacognitive type of drawing expression around the hair. So we're going to leave a little bit of room and just kind of start around the ears, and we're just going to make lines. They can be curvy, they can be spirals, they can be little circles. Just let your imagination guide you and infuse these marks that you're making for the hair. Just infuse them with whatever's on your mind, whatever you're carrying with you, whatever you're maybe worried about or concerned about. Just kind of give those things a place to live. And our little face, this is just a presence, a being that's kind of coming in. Maybe we could say waking up. So they might have some crazy hair. And just infuse each mark with whatever it is that you've been thinking about, whatever's been on your mind. And we'll take a little pause here Do you want to bring in a neckline?
Mhm.
All right.
I don't want a disembodied head just
Okay.
hanging out there.
So just one more curved line on each side of the chin area. So our head has something to hold it up.
Mhm.
Chin dimples will come in later.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they're an extra.
Oh,
You won't be penalized for that.
thank you. I'm getting ahead. I was always like that in school, working light years ahead. It made me miss some things. Yeah.
So we're just going to take a moment and drop into a little practice of heart coherence, just a minute of heart-focused breathing. So just bring your awareness to the center of your chest and begin to imagine for the next 40 seconds or so that your breath is flowing in and out through your heart or chest area. And just start breathing a little bit slower and a little bit deeper than usual. Just find an easy rhythm that feels comfortable. And just as easily as we started that heart coherence practice, we can allow it to wane by just releasing any control of our breathing rhythm, letting it move back into that normal and kind of unconscious and automatic pace. And just start to tune back into our creative process, our little face that's coming into view. So now we'll start to bring in some of the senses. So we're going to open the nostrils. We're going to open the ear canals. We're going to open the mouth area a little bit. And we're going to open the eyes. And this is just a way of establishing this line of communication with this face so that we can interact with it a little more. So I'm going to start with the ear canals. And we're not looking for anatomical correctness, just the suggestion that the ear is open. And the same thing with the nostrils. Just going to make like a little dot on each side of the tip of the nose. And then I'm going to bring in the upper eyelid of the left eye and the upper eyelid of the right eye. Just taking a moment to tune into the open eyes on my face, the open eyes that I'm creating here. And then we're going to bring in the iris in the eye. So just another curved line. And within that iris, we're going to make just kind of a squiggly little triangle instead of a pupil, because just a dot in the middle of the eye can look a little weird. And then we'll bring in the line for the mouth. And create a little opening, just a little suggestion that there can be communication, that speech could happen. And then we're going to drop back into a little heart coherence practice where we're going to tune into a regenerative or positive emotion. something that inspires a good feeling. So just take a moment to pause the creative process and bring your awareness back to the center of your chest. Begin again to imagine that you're breathing in and out through your heart or chest area. Settle back into that comfortable breathing rhythm that's just a little slower and deeper than usual, like 3 or 4 seconds as you breathe in, 3 or 4 seconds as you breathe out. And then see if you can call to mind a special moment, a memory, a person, place, or thing in your life that brings you a good feeling. Just allow yourself to move into that feeling space, feeling that good feeling as deeply as you can for the next 30 seconds or so. Now just let that good feeling settle a little more deeply into your being, into your awareness. Allow your breathing rhythm to normalize again, and just start tuning your awareness back toward our creative process with this little face. And at this point, the invitation is to, if you have access to multiple colors, bring in a different color and go back to the marks you've made for the hair and bring some marks into the hair that represent or are infused with the energy of the regenerative feeling, the good feeling that you were just accessing. So, like angels showing, you can bring in a little color to represent that. It could be little dots, it could be more little curvy lines, and they can be congruent, they can be parallel, or they can be crisscrossing all over the place. However you'd like to express that is just perfect. We're just infusing these marks and making them while we're holding that good feeling in our awareness. And the next step is to start bringing a little bit of adornment to the face. So I love eyelashes. They really make these faces for me. You may find that you have your own thing. You know, I find myself making like a bindi or some sort of little spirally symbol between the eyebrows, that third eye space. Freckles are a really nice thing to add. Maybe a little jewelry. Maybe there's a nose ring or earrings. Maybe there's a little symbol, like they've been to a face painting at an event and they have a little heart on their cheek or a little spiral, or maybe there's a little, I don't know, a little cloud with some rain or a rainbow. But whatever you're inspired to add, just go ahead and follow that creative, imaginative impulse. This is a face you're making just for you. Nobody gets to tell you it could, should, would be better if you had done X, Y, Z. I started having so much fun drawing a rainbow on the cheek that I forgot about the eyelashes. Just do your best here to get lost in the process, to allow yourself that experience of just being in the present moment with that next line. It's a great time for that chin dimple, if you like to add that. Or maybe there's some lines around the eyes. We'll call them wisdom lines. And just start to listen. You can even do a little asking, like, what is there that I don't know? What is there I haven't discovered yet? Is there something I can see that I haven't seen before? And as you start to listen, you might begin to have words or phrases start to catch in your awareness. This is a great time to lean into those words and allow them to find a place. So if you have a journal or a piece of paper that you'd like to use, you're welcome to open that up. If you'd like to write the words around the face, you're welcome to do that too. Just give yourself the opportunity to shift out of this visual creative process into kind of a free writing type of process where you're not really thinking about what you're writing, you're just going with the flow. You're welcome to have some fun as Angel is doing, bringing a little bit of skin tone to the face. And here again, we don't have to be limited or constrained by anatomical similarity to actual humans. This is a face that you are making. And this process is something that you can stop at any given point and add to later, or just continue to interact with this line of communication that we've opened with that inner voice.
No. What would be a good journaling prompt for right now? Well, I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now is what these eyes have seen. Like, if you just think about the whatever situation might have been arising for you when you began making the face, the things that we see, the things that we think, the things that we know, giving them a place to live and to unpack through the creative process. So we might come in with a situation, and while we're drawing, things will come up kind of organically, and we can flow with that, or we can just, be present to what is it like to actually face the day. Like, sometimes facing the day is hard, right? So how how is my experience with facing this day? What happened before you got here? What is going to happen when you leave? And how can this practice be a supportive thread in weaving your day together?
Or just the noticing of how you're feeling now as opposed to 30 minutes ago. If the face that you've created has a message for you, what might that message be? And if there's a flow to the words, then keep going with it. If it feels a little awkward, then just go back to the face and add a little more color, a little more shading, some more freckles.
Do you want to share yours? I'm going to put my other one back up that I did this morning. It's a little more complete. But this gives you an idea of some of the things that you can do with this kind of process. Color can be amazing, as are dots, lines, anything that just gets you into that more meditative space while you're making your marks. So when I did this one, the vision came to mind, just the things that I'm working on and giving voice to it. So that's why Voice Your Vision is on my drawing that I did this morning. But you can do this process as many times as you want. And if you like, this is just giving you an idea of how it can be. But the hope is that you'll take it after these 3 days and make it your own, make it something that you return to. Again and again. And hopefully, if you're moved to, post it on the group. We have a Facebook group we have to change the name because it still says 7-day challenge, which was the last one we did, but this is a 3-day challenge. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and give Keen an opportunity to share his drawing, and then we'll open up the room for everyone else to share if you want to. There's no pressure, but this can be a good time to just gather together a little bit and share what it was like, and have some connection before we go about our busy days.
Thanks,
So,
Angel.
yeah, thanks, Keen. I'm gonna stop this, leave. So, Keen, would you like to share a little bit, get the room
Oh,
warmed up?
once, yeah.
There you go.
Why does that make me giggle? When I first started doing this practice, all of the faces I made looked too masculine. And for some reason, I wanted the messenger to be, uh, to feel more nurturing. And a lot of the messages that would come through for me were that way. There's something about this process that tunes me into receiving an encouraging message. And this one, the little message that came through was that this is an incantation for relaxation.
Hmm.
So there's a little magic process involved that helps to soothe me and redirect my focus and attention to something that is nourishing or affirming for me.
Thanks, Keen.
Yeah. I think I could have spent more time just, like bringing in these little symbols and adornments.
Yes.
Eh,
Well, that's the challenge of the challenge, right? Is that we're just introducing this in a very bite-sized way, but you can really spend a lot of time doing this. And if you are someone who enjoys painting as also, like, there are even longer experiences to really just get to know ourselves through creativity by making a face, by bringing in color and symbol and line. It's really something that I think is highly addictive in the best way possible. And it's just a great way of moving through the world because we're always creating. And most of the time, we're doing it unconsciously just because that's the way humans are designed. So the more we move through the world with conscious acts of creation, that we prioritize on purpose, the better life starts to feel. And then, it ripples out. And I think if you're here, you probably want to make a difference in the world. You probably want to feel like you have a good life. So these practices can really help with that. And there's a Facebook group. If you don't know about it, let us know. We'll send you there. You can choose to share your drawings or not. It's totally up to you. But it's like our idea is to let it be a place that you can scroll through and just see everyone's drawings and bring smiles to your faces.
And these processes tend to continue to unpack. So if something else lands and you're inspired to share this evening or even through the next few days or few weeks,
Yeah,
then that's a place
that's
where
the
you
place
can
to do it.
drop that in a space where nobody's going to be critical.
Thank God.
We'll likely celebrate what bravery it takes to share to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and likely find some common ground that we can walk on together.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a beautiful way to wrap up. Thanks, Keen. Common ground that we
Thank
walk on
you.
together.
Mhm.
Wishing you all a wonderful day.